All right, so I think this is recording. Let's take a look at these three problems. Now, read the directions carefully. They're not asking us to solve this. They're asking us to determine the discriminant. Um, uh, Remember, the quadratic formula gives us, you identify A, B, and C when it's in standard form, and the discriminant is the part that's underneath the radical. So in each of these cases, that's what we want to determine that number. All right, so let's take a look at number one. It's not in standard form. So before we identify A, B, and C, now the variable is also A, which is not one of our constants A, B, and C in here. So when this A of 2 is not the variable A. So the discriminant is B squared minus 4 times A times C. B squared is 36. A is 2. C is negative 9. And if we do this arithmetic, I don't have a calculator that displays online like I do at school. So I'll have to, I'm getting 108. 108 is not a perfect square. It is divisible by 36, but it's not a perfect square. So it's a quadratic, so I'm expecting two solutions, but I'm expecting these solutions to be irrational numbers, because when you go to simplify the square root of 108, you're going to have a radical in your answer. So the discriminant is 108, and we have two solutions, and the type is irrational solutions. All right, I'm going to try to shrink this up a little bit. All right, let's take a look at our next problem. It is in standard form, so I can jump in and identify A, B, and C. The discriminant is B squared minus 4AC. B squared is 4 squared, which is 16, minus 4 times A times C. 4 times 3 is 12. 16 minus 12 is 4. Now, unlike 108, 4 is a perfect square. When you go to take the square root of 4, you're going to get 2. So, boy, I do not know how I'm rotating. I must drag my hand across this pad or something. I haven't figured out yet when I do rotate it how to unrotate it. Sorry about that. So the discriminant is 4, and this time we have two rational solutions. Not irrational, but rational. All right, so let's try to shrink this up. Move it a little bit over. All right, sorry about how this is cockeyed here. Let's take a look at this last one. We've got 5x squared plus 20x plus 0 is equal to 0. So A is equal to 5, B is equal to 20, c is equal to 0. So my discriminant is b squared minus 4 times a times c. B squared, 20 squared is 400 minus 4 times 5, but then we have times 0. So this is definitely a perfect square. It's b squared. It was 20 squared. So we know that the square root of that is 20. We know that there are two rational solutions to this equation. So in each case, if we continued with this quadratic formula, plugging in this value of the discriminant and doing that arithmetic, we could come up with the solutions. For problem 1, we would expect both solutions to be irrational numbers because we would have 36 times the square root of 3 for that radical. But here, when you take the square root of 4, you're going to have 2, so it's plus or minus 2. See, those are going to be rational numbers. Those are going to be fractions. And here, plus or minus 400, well, that's going to be plus or minus 20. So, hey, I hope that helps. Sorry about that turning like that. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.